You're watching Color 10 News at 10 in high definition.
Investigators believe a mother killed her kids and herself before they were found in a burning Springfield home. Good evening, I'm Ashley Katz.
And I'm David Oliver. Good to have you joining us tonight. In February, Jassez Sager, along with Noah and Lily Adams, died on North Texas Avenue. Our Kevin Schwaller shows tonight what documents reveal about the family's time before those deaths.
Color 10 News made an official request for records. Typically, hotline calls, child welfare investigations are confidential. We got the documents under rules that allow their release if a child is badly hurt or killed. The pages reveal a possible early warning 2 years before the death of Sager and her children. Documents reveal someone raised concerns about the mom 2 years before the fire. There was only one report, and social services found claims of neglect unsubstantiated. Still, someone reported mom was talking about people being the devil and speaking to people through the TV. Mom is out of control and not in touch with reality. The next part is redacted. During the investigation of the 2011 report, DSS found a local detective had come to the house. Detective Watson said the mother was talking erratically and appeared to have lost touch with reality. Detective Watson said the mother was taken to... The next part was also covered up. The Children's Division found that Sager said her breakdown was from lack of sleep, and over time, some family reported an improving situation, and that they did not believe Sager posed a danger to the children. As of earlier this year, the children's father, Sean Adams, lived in Cape Girardeau. Adams' mother remembers getting the news of the deaths from a Springfield detective.
He said, "You want me to tell Sean?" I said, "No, I want time." So I had to tell my son that both his children were dead.
The report shows, in response to the question, does the parent have access to the child within 24 hours? Someone marked, "Mom will." This part of the sentence is hidden. It finishes, "For now, the kids are safe." The report suggested a grandmother and the father of the children were taking care of the kids in 2011. That was in the Cape Girardeau area. DSS found Sager posed a moderate risk of neglect and low risk of abuse to her kids. The report also says it is unknown if the mom ever threatened to kill her kids. Now Springfield police confirm that an investigation is still open and its findings are not yet fully conclusive.
Kevin, with that new information tonight. Thanks, Kevin.
Also tonight, new at 10 victims of crime were being remembered tonight in a memorial service in central Springfield. This service was held at the Victims Memorial Garden over at Phelps Grove Park. It was a chance for families who have been through the trauma of losing a loved one to connect with others who are suffering. Bricks dedicated in memory of those who lost their lives were also laid tonight in the garden, and a former prosecutor here in Greene County explains what the garden means to these families.
People come to this garden and meditate and reflect, and they'll walk around and read the bricks, and so they'll have a chance to read the names not only of victims, but of the hope and encouragement that you can get from looking at that and realize that life does go on, that you can overcome sorrow and tragedy.
This is also National Crime Victims' Rights Week.
Color 10 has new information tonight about a vicious dog debate involving a yellow lab named Phineas. Through a Freedom of Information request, we obtained the police report about the dog biting a little girl in Salem, Missouri last summer. That report shows the mother of the 7-year-old victim did not want to press charges or had the dog taken from his family, only to be assured that the dog had his shots and they were up to date. But when the case went to the mayor, he saw the report stated that Phineas had 3 biting reports and ordered the dog to be put down. A court hearing is scheduled for May to decide Phineas's fate. And if you'd like to read that police report and a letter from the shelter that is caring for the dog, just go to ozarksfirst.com.
We want to check in right now with Jamie Warden for a look ahead to the week, and you got some changing conditions ahead tonight, sounds like.
Yeah, the good news is we're not going below freezing like we did last night. The bad news is we are finding clouds that are going to keep us from getting very cold out there, and eventually those clouds are going to yield some rain as we get into Friday's weather. We'll talk more about that a little later on. Here's what we saw this morning, though. Lows down below freezing here in Springfield. It was a frosty start to your Thursday. Some locations actually setting new record lows, Rolla and West Plains being a couple of locations which did that. This afternoon, though, with golden sunshine around all of the Ozarks, it warmed up very, very nicely. Some spots getting very close to 70. In fact, a few locations hitting 70. Mountain Home and Fayetteville here in Springfield, 66 degrees this afternoon. A good 15 degrees warmer than yesterday's highs. This warming trend, though, coming to an end. We've got clouds rolling in now. Temperatures are cooling off, but they're not going to get nearly as cold as they did last night because of that cloud cover. That'll hold overnight temperatures up in the upper 40s. But tomorrow with the clouds and the showers in place, look for highs only in the 50s. Showers really picking up once we get into late morning and beyond through the afternoon. Just expect a wet drive home. We'll have your weekend forecast coming up.
Thanks, Jamie. Now a Color 10 special report. The U.S. is the only country to have them. Missouri, the only state to house them. For 20 years, B-2 bombers have been stationed at Whiteman Air Force Base. This week, Aaron Nolan got an exclusive look at the planes. He's here with more on what sets these stealths apart.
Yeah, Ashley, December 17th, 1993. The first B-2 bomber was delivered to Whiteman Air Force Base. Its name, the Spirit of Missouri. And over the last 2 decades, a fleet of Spirits have not only protected our country, but also proved to be truly unmatched.
Unique, having no like or equal, unparalleled, incomparable.
It is one of a kind.
The first time you see it, it's just, you're just in awe.
I'm a plane fanatic. It doesn't look like anything else out there.
69 feet long, 172 feet wide, 17 feet tall, weighing in at 160,000 pounds, reaching high subsonic speed, carrying both conventional and nuclear weapons, costing $2 billion. It's easy to call this plane unique.
It's pretty incredible. It's tough to put into words because you know, you look out there and you have to kind of pinch yourself and remind yourself that you're flying the B-2.
But adding to the uncommon nature of this stealth fighter is where it calls home. Since the early 90s, Whiteman Air Force Base in central Missouri has housed the fleet of B-2s. Only 21 were ever made. 20 still exist. 19 here in the Show Me State.
You can't find this anywhere else in the world. No other nation has it. Just the United States Air Force has it here in Missouri.
The reason we are so successful is not only because of the most advanced weapon system on the planet, the most advanced airplane ever built. It's because of the state of Missouri's phenomenal support for all services, but specifically the Air Force and Whiteman Air Force Base.
This flying fighting weapon system has 2 main objectives. First, it can attack, carrying numerous different bombs.
I have to think it's one of the most important missions in the Air Force and the military, bringing precision strike anywhere in the world at a moment's notice.
Secondly, a stealthy yet showy purpose, one that recently sent the Show Me State B-2s to Asia, a purpose known as prepared deterrence.
Our mission to the Korean Peninsula provided great assurance to our allies in the region that the United States of America is dedicated to that region. The calculus that you don't want to go against the United States of America because of its military might is the strength of the B-2.
One of our main missions is deterrence, and that's kind of the heart of what we seek is to be so credible and capable in our mission that nobody wants to mess with us.
And in all of that, we find the one thing that really sets this plane apart: protection.
I don't quite have a family yet, but it makes me excited to know that when I do have a family, and the family that I have and my friends, that they're all safe here because of what I do.
No one in the Air Force wishes for war. But if there is one, there's not any other weapon system I'd rather be in than the B-2.
With that safety, a second definition of unique comes true for the B-2. Limited to a single outcome or result, without alternative possibilities.
Now, one thing that really sets these planes apart is its pilots. Get this, more people have flown into outer space than have been in the cockpit of a B-2 bomber in flight. Now, this year marks 20 years since the first Spirit was delivered to Whiteman. Coming up in September, a huge, possibly B-2-sized celebration. And finally, we do want to thank the Air Force Base for letting us use some of its great video. Ashley, of course, we couldn't go up in a plane, but luckily they had this video you're watching.
Thanks, Aaron, for that special report there. Something Missouri can be proud of.
Very, very unique look at that program there tonight.
Well, nationwide, flyers are pretty frustrated with the long lines and delays due to federal budget cuts.
But that is not how travelers feel at the Springfield-Branson National Airport.
There was a decent price option with the Allegiant coming out of Springfield.
The state of our airport and the changes you will likely see there in the coming months. And if you would like to see more of Color 10 News, follow us on Facebook. Find the Facebook icon right there on ozarksfirst.com.
Only about 3% of the passengers that
Tonight, new at 10, air traffic controllers are closer to being cleared for return. Tonight, the U.S. Senate passed a measure to end budget-related furloughs. Those cuts have been blamed for widespread flight delays. The House is expected to vote on that matter coming up tomorrow. Meantime, here in Springfield, airport leaders are cautiously optimistic about the state of travel.
And Color 10's Laura Kennedy is here with the highlights from today's State of the Airport address. Laura.
The number of passengers traveling through Springfield's airport went up by more than 20,000 last year as compared to 2011. And despite an overarching sense of frustration among travelers across the country, local travelers are looking on the bright side.
When Jeremy and Teresa Taylor planned a family Florida vacation last year, they shopped around.
Too far to drive, and there was a decent price option with Allegiant coming out of Springfield, so that's probably one of the reasons why we chose to go there.
But the Springfield couple says they're open to driving to a larger airport for better fares.
Price and convenience. If price is a little better in a nearby airport like Kansas City or St. Louis, we'll consider that. If the price is quite a bit higher out of here, we'll definitely travel out of the larger airport.
Springfield Airport's Director of Aviation, Brian Wheeler, agrees that shopping around is the way to go. He just hopes local families take advantage of the deals you can find in town.
And then you also have to factor in the cost to drive to another airport, the headache of doing that. And, you know, all we ask is just check and compare.
Based on data he presented at Thursday's State of the Airport address, more and more travelers are flying SGF. He believes the tough time for airlines is over and the industry is stabilizing. The airport is expanding and hopes to get back the Allegiant flight to LA.
We are not always going to be the cheapest, but we're also not always going to be more expensive. You can get some good deals there, so just shop around.
There's no doubt travelers are experiencing delays at the nation's largest airports, and that could impact flights from Springfield. But airport officials just hope airline customers don't give up on the industry.
And it's an alternative transportation mode, and we just hope we give them a chance when they're making their travel plans.
For families like the Taylors, it's just about finding a balance between the wallet and convenience.
The airport just received tentative approval from MoDOT to redevelop the general aviation portion of the grounds. More hangars will be built and the traffic flow will be redesigned. Construction on that is tentatively set to begin late this summer.
All right, we'll see what happens. Laura, thanks so much. Jamie's back now with a check on our Friday forecast.
And that Friday forecast not looking near as pretty as our Thursday weather did. Looks like we've got clouds and rain to talk about for Friday. But what about the weekend? Can we shake loose of those clouds and those rain drops? I think we will, but how quickly? That's in your full forecast coming up.
And now weather with Color 10 News Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner.
All right, not bad outside right now. It actually feels pretty good. Temperatures have been sort of kept up overnight tonight so far because of cloud cover, and I think that's going to continue to be the case as we head through the rest of the overnight hours. Skies are cloudy. It's hard to even see the moon as bright as it is now that the clouds have begun to thicken up. 56 currently, winds light out of the southeast at 7 miles per hour. Where's our trouble coming from? Well, it's coming from that area to the west that you can see pretty clearly. We've got this area of cloud cover that's now streaking out into the Ozarks, but the core of the storm is actually still located in a couple of different parts. We've got a part right here in Arizona and New Mexico, and then we've got a part right here that's kind of digging down the backside of this trough. And what that does is it sort of slows the whole process down. So rather than get this storm through in a day, it's going to take a couple of days to get the clouds and all the shower activity out of the Ozarks. Take you hour by hour, show you what I'm talking about. 10 o'clock tonight, skies are just cloudy. through the midnight hour, they're just going to be cloudy. And I think even through about 7 o'clock in the morning on Friday, it's generally going to be just cloudy. But there could be a few light showers beginning to enter the picture, at least north of I-44, particularly near the I-49 corridor right here. Now, as we head through the morning hours, showers will increase from west to east across the area. And it looks like once we get into the afternoon, folks, we're dealing with wet weather, showers, maybe even a few rumbles of thunder. And that activity will continue into the evening hours on Saturday before by 7 o'clock in the morning, the bulk of that activity begins to move on out. But we're still not done with it because we still have that chunk of upper level energy sort of back over the Ozarks. And it looks like that little chunk may continue to generate a little light shower activity, at least east of Highway 65 into the daytime on Saturday. I do also think, though, that west of 65 is where we could see some breaks in the clouds, and we could find a little bit of sunshine Saturday afternoon, at least by mid to late afternoon, and that may push temperatures into the mid-60s in those locations. Rainfall totals, I think in general, we're looking at a good soaking across the entire area. Hard to really pinpoint which area has the best shot at seeing the heavier rain, although I would tend to lean further south. But it looks like the entire area probably picking up between a half an inch and an inch of rainfall. Looking ahead beyond Saturday, here's the good news. That slow-moving storm heads out. What comes in with it? On the backside of it, warmer air. This storm not able to tap into cold Canadian air, so it looks like we're going to find a warm-up in the wake of that storm as opposed to a cool down. Highs on Sunday in the 70s, and on Monday and Tuesday up near 80 degrees before this next trough begins to swing into the plains and pushes a cold front through the area Wednesday into Wednesday night. Overnight tide, 46. Shower risk towards sunrise, again, particularly to the west and north of Springfield. For tomorrow, we'll see highs held down due to clouds and showers building into the area. Looks like about 57 here in Springfield. Areas to the east may get a little bit warmer just because it's going to take longer for the clouds to really thicken up and the showers to really move into these areas, but still sort of a cool day across the region. Highs in the low 60s on Saturday, although maybe close to the mid-60s areas west of Springfield where we could get a little bit more in the way of sun. Sunday looks like a sunny day, high of 74. Near 80 on Monday, 80 on Tuesday. Wouldn't be surprised if we don't make it into the low 80s. And then the next front comes through on Wednesday with some showers, maybe some thunder. Again, that system doesn't look like it's going to be one that would produce severe weather. And then behind that storm, another shot of cool weather by Thursday of next week.
We can put up with kind of a blah Friday for the nights
it's
or
Friday.
weekend. It's Friday.
That's right.
So we'll
no, I hear you. I
Eve.
totally agree. You know, it is almost the weekend.
All right. That's the good news there. Thanks, Jamie.
You bet.
The first pick in the 2013 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Eric Fisher.
It is draft night in the NFL.
Dan Lucy's coming up in sports, and you're going to hear from the Chiefs and the Rams' top draft picks. It's next.
And now, the Chevy Dealer Sports Report with Dan Lucy.
For the first time in a half century, the Kansas City Chiefs had the top pick in the NFL draft. New coach Andy Reid, general manager John Dorsey knew that it's a unique opportunity. The St. Louis Rams had the 16th pick, but traded up to 8. This is what the top of the draft looked like.
The first pick in the 2013 NFL draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Eric Fisher, tackle, Central Michigan.
I can't even process what's happening right now. This is a dream come true. The fact that I was the #1 pick is, I can't understand what's going on right now. But, you know, what an honor, and a great opportunity, and I'm pumped to be a Chief.
With the 8th pick in the 2013 NFL Draft, the St. Louis Rams select Tavon Austin, wide receiver, West Virginia.
Now another first-round picks, Mizzou with another first-round draft pick, Sheldon Richardson going to the Jets at 13. The Rams traded their other first-round pick to the Falcons for 3 other draft picks. The Springfield Cardinals wrapped up their 4-game series with Northwest Arkansas tonight at Hammonds Field. The Naturals snapping a Springfield 3-game winning streak in Game 2 of yesterday's doubleheader. Cards looking to take the series tonight. Big line outside of Hammonds Field tonight for replica ring night. Fans getting copies of the Springfield Texas League Championship hardware. Scoreless 3rd inning. Jake Lemmerman shoots this a short right. The Natural second baseman Alex McClure. Nice catch out there. Seth Blair looking for his first win for Springfield. He would get Ray Navarro to strike out swinging there in the 4th inning, but later in the 4th, Yem Prades would take Blair deep to left. This one would go way over the bullpen and gone. A solo shot to make it 1-0. Then in the 5th inning, Angel Franco would double to left center. This one would get down scoring Roman Hernandez to make it 2-0. Blair then would load the bases and walk Mitch Canham. That brings home Franco to make it 3-0. Springfield did that again. Another bases loaded walk to make it 4-0. Naturals go on to win 6-2. Kansas City Royals wrapped up a long road trip this afternoon to Detroit. That road trip featuring a postponed game because of the Boston Marathon bombing and a rainout. Kansas City Royals on a half-game lead in the American League Central going into the action. And this was a pitcher's duel between Justin Verlander and the Royals' James Shields. Verlander gets Salvador Perez to strike out looking to end the top of the 2nd. And then Shields would get Don Kelly swinging to end the bottom of the 2nd. It was 1-0 Tigers in the 3rd when Billy Butler would single to right. Alcides Escobar comes in to score to make it 1-1. It was a 2-2 game in the 5th inning when Detroit's Torrey Hunter would single to left. Omar Infante rounds 3rd and scores to make it a 3-2 Tiger lead. The Royals would tie it up to force extra innings. And then in the 10th inning, KC made it 4-3 with a bases-loaded walk. And then Alex Gordon goes deep to center. His first career grand slam. Royals win 8-3. KC now 11-8, opening up a 10-game homestand against the Indians. Tomorrow, a quartet of Parkview Viking baseball players signed letters of intent to play at the next level today. Left fielder Brandon Beavers signed with Highland Junior College in Kansas. First baseman Andrew Kendrick signed with Lindenwood. Shortstop Tyler Nemmer signed with William Woods. And right fielder Landon Ruff signed with Missouri State. Ruff joining teammate Spencer Johnson, who signed with the Bears last year. In fact, Ruff is the 3rd Viking to play for Keith Gutton at Missouri State in the last 3 years. He says signing with his other teammates was special.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. We've been playing together since we were 12, and we knew we wanted to sign together. And it's a great team. I love them. They're my family basically. So it's awesome that we all got to sign together. Oh yeah, I'm stoked. I mean, Missouri State, it's one of the best programs in the nation, I think.
So congratulations to those guys. St. Louis had the day off.
All right, Dan, thanks.
We'll be right back.
are tonight's winning lottery numbers.
Well, the weekend is upon us. Jamie, give us some good news.
David said he's speechless. He says, I can't believe it's not Friday yet.
We're
It's
just
only
tired.
Thursday.
It's got a long week. Here we are.
Well, we got to get through Friday first, David, and then it's the weekend. Friday, clouds, showers, especially during the afternoon. So it'll be an afternoon drive home that will be wet. But Saturday, I think we knock out most of the rain, but the clouds are going to linger, and it's still going to be a little on the cool side. Sunday is going to be the best day to be outside. Sunshine and highs in the 70s, and it looks like up near 80 Monday and Tuesday.
Okay. I will say this. Do you have any final thoughts? No.
Yeah, I can't wait to work tomorrow.
I do too.
I'm excited.
But it's bedtime now, so we'll see on that note. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow, yeah.